I'm about to play Smash, trying to get some cash. I'm gonna get a rash. Hey, it's RashBalash.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy RashBalash back at it again with another video. This is a tech dash with RashBalash. And so today I'm going to be doing a review of the TWSBI Eco piston filled pen. It's a fountain pen. So for those of you who are interested or are looking for reviews on this specific pen, if you're interested in buying it, this is sort of that review for it, and my experience with it. So obviously, everyone has a different experience. Now, this is my first. I've had fountain pens before, but they were like the dip and right, so not exactly like one of these where it was filled with ink inside. So this was pretty dope. Upgrading from one of those sort of fountain pens to this. The piston filling feature is really nice. You just dip it into some ink and you twist the piston and it'll fill it up. And you can, I'll show you also how to fill it up with the ink and also how to clean it in just a minute. At the time that I got this, which was in August of 2020, this was a relatively new color. It was a cement gray color. So that's, and I saw it on some fountain pen subreddit, so I was like, yo, like, I guess I'll try it out. Let me see what I think. And obviously I'm no pen connoisseur. I do use a lot of pencils, a lot of mechanical pencils. I have a bunch of Pentel P207s, P205s, and P209s. I also have a Rotring 600. This is a 0.5mm lead pencil. My P209 is a 0.9mm, which I know a lot of people probably don't like, but I don't know, it's something about the thickness and how it feels on the paper. I love how smooth it is and how I can get just the right edge to have like really thick letters. The Rotring 600s, these are really nice feeling. They feel like great in the hand. They have really nice weight. So what are the features of this pen? So it has a twist to unscrew to cap, so it easily can screw back in, screw back out. It uses a stainless steel nib. When you screw it in, and also when you pop the cap onto the back of the pen, there's like a rubber O-ring that is at both sides that sort of ensures that it's a tight fit. It's not going to come out even if you jostle it around like this. So like when I'm writing, it feels well balanced. If I had the cap on, even without the cap, it still feels well balanced. So for the particular weights, the cap itself is about 8 grams while the rest of the pen is 13 grams. So together it's about 21 grams while you're writing. When you fill it with ink, it might add a negligible amount of weight, but so that's just something to keep in mind if that's something that's really important to you. I would say, in my opinion, writing with the cap on, I like the slightly heavier weight, but it's not so heavy that it feels like, oh, I need to crack my wrist. It's not going to make my hand tired. And without it, it still feels really good. It's not so light that it feels like it's going to fly out of my hand. I still have good control over the pen. There is also a pen clip, so if you need to well, I guess I don't know if people really do this anymore, but you need to clip it on something, or I can clip it onto the paper. So I guess that's nice. Writing with it, so overall, super smooth. I have the medium nib size. There's a bunch of different sizes. There's extra fine, there's medium, bold, and there's also the flat edge, which people use for calligraphy. So you'll see those options when you try to go buy it from, if you go to their website to buy it. But overall with the medium nib, super nice. It's really smooth. It doesn't seep through too much through the paper. For example, I just wrote a bunch of stuff on this paper, and on the back you don't really see it. Now this is sort of thick paper. I'm not exactly sure how to justify it, like explaining that, but if I write on a regular white piece of paper, the regular printer paper, you'll see that it does seep through. So you'll see a bunch of like ink kind of visible. It's not like it's gonna, it's not like leaking through or anything, but it is visible from the other side on printer paper. I don't unfortunately have those journals that everyone uses as a standard for testing, but that's just like based on these two. This is obviously thinner than the paper that is in my journal, so you'll be able to see, like with this printer paper, it goes through. With slightly thicker paper, it's not really going through at all. Another small detail, so they included silicone grease inside of the packaging for when you get it, and what you use this for is to make sure that the piston is lubed up so that it doesn't get stuck if you're trying to refill it, or if you're just in general trying to use it. You don't want to get stuck, and you don't want to use too much. I'm sure you want to use like a little Q-tip. You're not supposed to put in your ears, but you want to use a little Q-tip to basically apply some lightly around the silicone that is used on the piston. So if you ever notice your piston's getting a little bit too stuck, you can always use this. I've been using this pen for 4 months now. It's December of 2020 when I'm shooting this, so I've used it for 4 months. I had it fully filled with ink. Now, after 4 months, it's almost empty. There's still ink obviously inside that I'm still able to use, but I'm gonna try and show you how to clean this. There's a couple different methods that you can use, and then I'm also gonna show you how to fill it back up. So first, how do we clean this pen? I have the pen ready to be cleaned, and this cup has some water and this cup has none. So since I'm ready to clean this, again, this is just one of the methods. So I took off the cap, and now what I'll do is, so I'm gonna twist this piston until it's almost at the end because it's so empty of ink, and then dip it into this. You can already see ink is coming out. I'm gonna suck in the water, go into the other one, and empty it. Now, as you can see, as I keep doing it, the water is getting more clear. I think that's just an indication that there is less ink in there. So just after a couple of refills and empties, you can see that it's super clear now. Or almost completely clear. I'll just do it once more for good measure, and then there we go. So now, as you can see, it's pretty clean. Now there is another method though, so let me show you guys that now. This is the little wrench that came with also the pen. Now this is used to remove the piston, so for example, we're about to clean it, so you might use this. So let's actually try it now. Another detail about this pen is that the nib can be removed. In order to do that, you'll squeeze down and pull out. And there you go. It does take a little bit of like pulling, but it should come out relatively easily. And then I can leave this out here to dry after cleaning it, and then also I can try and clean out the innards where it's a little bit wet. This wrench will allow us to open up this piston end. So in order to do that, you'll just unscrew, and now here, as soon as we have it tightened, you'll unscrew it even further. And there you go. Now you have a pen that is completely taken apart. And you'll be able to dry out the innards. So this is pretty cool. I mean, we have a bunch of different parts that we can... This pen can easily be taken apart. It looks really nice. And you can clean out each part. So here's the TWSBI fountain pit tip. Here's the associated ink disperser. I'm not exactly sure what this does though. Here is the clear pen body, and here we'll just do this. Now that's drying in there, and I'll dry out this other end. And then we have this part, the piston itself. It's super cool. I mean, this pen is just so modular, it's so awesome. Oh no, I unscrewed it a little bit too far. And I'll just make sure that's clean. Okay, now to fill it up, we're gonna take, this is the ink that I'm using. I know that it's a very old type of ink. The cap doesn't even match. It should be fine. Now, we'll take the pen, unscrew it. We're gonna push the piston all the way to the end. Just like that. Dip it in there. And then close it back up. If it does not fill up with ink all the way to the edge like you'd like it to, let me just clean that real quick. And what you can do is you can tip the pen up like this, open it back up, wait until the ink gets just to the end, and then start refilling it again. Some ink might come out though, so like that. So be sure to be very careful around your clothing, around anything that might get damaged. Now, just dip it back in, and close it back up, and there you go. Now that's about as much as I'm gonna fill it up. Now I can just close it like that, screw it back in, and there you go. So yeah, super awesome pen overall. Let me know if there's anything you guys would want me to cover, if there's any other pens that you're really interested or think are really cool and you think I should check out. I can test them out and let you know what I think. But besides that, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment, and share this with all your fountain pen friend addicts. Hopefully they'll get some pleasure or pain out of this video.
This is the best day of my life. I met RashBalash, the really famous YouTuber.